Welcome to part 2 of understanding your lease agreement. We are unpacking and facilitating your understanding of your rental rights, your rental agreement, your rental stay, and how long you stay, and actually, what are your rights as a tenant, as a student tenant, and what you should be careful of when signing the lease agreement. Because last time we didn't explain in the last video of why these videos, why are they done, and it's there to help you understand this. Because in our journey, and we come from different walks of life, we have different levels of understanding and experience with rental housing. So last week, or the last video, we discussed, of course, the signing of the lease agreement and what you should do before and after. So now you've signed your lease agreement, you got your keys, you're in the room, you started the process. How do you make sure that at the end of your stay, your lease agreement, you get your deposit back? How do you make sure of that? So in this part today, we're going to be discussing part 1, what is a rental deposit and why you must pay a rental deposit. Part 2, who do you pay the rental deposit to? Part 3, the different types of deposits that you pay. And part 4 finally is important, how to get it back. Right, so you're going to have, first of all, Nicolette Mashile from the Financial Body. Check out the channel on YouTube. She's going to be explaining what a deposit is briefly. And then I'm going to have Michelle from Private Property also explaining what it is from the landlord's perspective.
Is a deposit. How much can they charge you as a deposit? That is at the discretion of the landlord, but it also needs to be stipulated in your agreement lease. So you need to agree to it and say, yes, I'm agreeing to the fact that I'm going to pay 1 month, 2 months, a full rental as a deposit. And you need to know exactly how much it is that you're paying. Obviously, landlords will determine their deposit based on 1, your credit worthiness, number 2, also your affordability, and number 3, whether or not the house is really that expensive and it takes a whole lot more money to fix it if you do damage it. So if they've used some fancy paint inside, they might just charge you a very high deposit. But at the same time, the landlord is not trying to charge a deposit that is going to be to make it impossible for him to actually get tenants, right? Remember that the deposit as a tenant is money that you will get back at the end of the lease period.
make sure that on that first day you spend scouring, exploring that room or that place, so that you make sure that you know that this was damaged before I came in, this was damaged before, and you let or inform the agent or the landlord via email or via WhatsApp and send a picture. And then you ask if you've damaged something after a while of staying there, you damage it yourself, then you have to report it also quickly as possible, be honest. And then you ask for the landlord how much will it cost to fix this. This is important. Then the landlord must give you a quote of how much it will cost to fix it. Right? You must clean regularly, right? And in the parts that you should clean and the parts that should be cleaned by the landlord's cleaner. Make sure that when the cleaner has not pitched up, you report it to the landlord. Make sure that if there's no cleaner, the cleaning is the responsibility of you as the tenant. Have a roster of cleaning there. Be disciplined. Have it there that this one is cleaning Monday, Tuesday. You can even have a random schedule if you want. Right? So it becomes that easy to make sure that you have 100% of the deposit. You get refunded 100% of the deposit when you get it back. So yeah, there's the inspections that you do before at the start of your tenancy and at the end. The most important one is at the end when you leave your place. License, right? The last day will come with you to the property or the room and check what was damaged, right? And of course, because you had reported what was damaged before you came in, it will be clear what was damaged while you were in, and the landlord will then coach you as to the minus this or the minus that for this damage. If there's nothing damaged, then you should get the deposit back. So if you've damaged it, nothing damaged. That is how you make sure that you get your deposit back. You make sure that it's clean. You make sure you've noted what's damaged before you came in, and your inspection when you are leaving, you note with your landlord if you've damaged something or not.
So the tenant's deposit is held on behalf of the tenant. We must remember it's his deposit that is held in trust, and it's there to be used in certain circumstances. It's there to be used in the case of damage to the property and actual damage to the property, in the case of non-payment of rent, non-payment of utilities, lost keys, lost remotes, those instances. An incoming inspection must be performed to ensure that the property is in a certain condition, and when the tenant vacates, an outgoing inspection is done. Only at that point can it be determined what damage claim there is and to what the deposit can be allocated.
As you heard from Michelle there from private property, that those are the conditions of receiving your deposit back. So she noted that in cases of you not paying your rent, then deposit can be used. But that should be in agreement with the landlord, and the landlord should have agreed in writing after you've requested in writing that the deposit be used as rent for this month. But under the law, the deposit cannot be used as rent. So let's keep the conversation going when you're with your friends. Just make sure that you allow them to know what their right is under the law regarding their deposit. If you want to check out more as to what you should do when you've had your right violated, and again, we're not lawyers or legal advice or legal professionals. We're just consultants that have experience in the field of rental housing. And yeah, you should go on our website and it's written there how you apply and how you make your complaint at the tribunal.